guys, welcome to another episode of Horror at the Store. I'm your host, Katie Hettenbach, and today he's back. He's ready to rock. Actor, comedian, Jake Lewis.
Woo!
Wee-hee-hee.
I'm here. Thank you for having me, Katie.
Of course. Thanks for coming back.
Appreciate it. Of course.
We love having you. I like
Anytime.
your sweater and your Michael
you.
Myers shirt.
It's nice and soft. I know. I thought, dress for the occasion.
They're like spooky and festive.
Spooky and festive.
And that's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the name of the game. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
You know? We're here, Comedy Store, vibing.
You stressed out
For
this
the
holidays?
holidays? These holidays, a little bit. Yeah, I woke up this morning with a little bit of a panic attack in my system, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It be like that some days.
It does.
And then you take a nap and you go for a walk and you eat some Taco Bell nacho fries and everything's a little bit
Bell
better.
Nacho fries.
Have you had them?
I haven't.
Oh my
I have
God.
IBS.
I
So that's a roll of the dice for me.
probably do too, but undiagnosed.
I diagnosed myself,
Okay.
WebMD.
If you get
If I don't have IBS, something is horrible.
Oh yeah, honestly.
I'm either dying, like, when you go on WebMD, it's like you're either dying or you have IBS.
Yes, it's usually
Those-
one of the two. Yeah.
Those are the only two things.
Oh,
really.
100%. There was one time I went into a doctor's appointment and I was like, I had like looked up what I thought I had and they're like, oh, what, do you think you have cancer? I'm like, no, it's low iron, but it could be cancer, but it's definitely most likely low iron.
Well, it always is. It's always either like you might have stubbed your toe or you have cancer.
Yeah, it's like, we don't really know.
We don't know.
It's a
toss-up
50-50.
somewhere or anything in between.
Exactly. We have no idea, but it could be either one. I don't know. But speaking of shit, no, this movie.
Speaking of shit, I thought we were being positive.
We are. We are. Honestly, we are.
Okay.
This movie's fantastic.
Hey, hey, listen.
Shit doesn't have to be bad.
Let me just say.
Like, this
okay?
is the shit.
Hey, oh no, I get you.
Not the shit.
No,
the
you're right.
Shit.
This is the shit.
Yeah.
Listen, it's really hard to make a movie.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's really hard.
Yeah.
And to make a good movie, it's almost a miracle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
There's some. It's dog shit. But no, it's fine.
But it's a golden turd, and
It's a golden turd, and we love it.
And we love it. This is the mean one.
What was your experiencing? So like, oh, sorry.
You're gonna know that this is the mean one from this year, 2022. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just like, how did you go and see this? Because this was a difficult movie for me to track down.
Yeah. So I thought this came out on the 15th. So I was like, oh, I'm leaving before the 15th. So we got to record episodes before I gotta go back to Wisconsin. So I got to figure out how I'm going to say, I'm like, maybe a Zoom episode. Then I just Google like theaters and it was like, oh, it's at Regal. And
Regal exclusively.
Regal exclusively. Regal is my least favorite theater to go to. I am a Cinemark and Lamely.
See, I have an AMC A-list.
That's if you have that, that's like the.
So I actually had to pay for this movie.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
I lost money because of this. You did. A whole $15. No, because you went today.
I went today because I wanted to come fresh.
And it's on a Tuesday, so you could get cheaper.
It was weird. So like, go to see it. Mm-hmm. It's me. There wasn't a pair of people going to see this movie.
It's all single people.
All single people. Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, that was kind of my experience too. And then
we were all trying to avoid eye contact because it was weird.
Yeah.
And someone sat like 2 seats away from me when there's like 50 seats open. And I'm like, I understand it's assigned seating, but when there's this much open.
It doesn't matter. Rules do not apply.
Just grab a seat.
There was like a group of like 6 like teenagers and their mom that sat 1 seat down from me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm literally dead in the center. Go. And they're like, oh, we'll just keep going down the aisle and sit on this side. And I was like, for what?
Why?
Go get your own aisle. Go do.
We all could have our own. That's the one thing I will say. First positive thing to say about
Yes.
this movie. If you're looking for a completely empty theater experience, this is. It was deafeningly silent.
It was,
in
and
this
you
movie.
really, I honestly, that's probably, I do like seeing movies like that because I feel like you get immersed more and you're not as distracted. So
Exactly.
I was in it, but anytime I would laugh, no one else would, and they would be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "It's just me. I can't hide."
That's the thing. It was so quiet. I felt weird reacting in any sort of way. And this is a movie that you want. In order for you to get into it, you want to react to a candy cane being shoved into someone's eyeball or whatever.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what the movie is, it's a live action. Oh, it's a live action. It's a version of The Grinch where the Grinch is evil, but it takes place in 2022. But he's not the Grinch. He's the mean one because of copyright. They can't say the Grinch.
But they kept on almost saying the Grinch.
Yes. So they would go. So there's like, the guy who's like looks like Santa's at the bar, and he goes, he's this guy. We call him, and then the bartender would come out and be like, Finch, Mr. Finch.
That was the laziest.
Finch.
and for whatever reason, Finch doesn't pick up his drinks that entire fucking time.
No, and he's like, God, but we call him the mean one. And we're like, oh, okay, the mean one. He's like, yeah, but he's such a Finch. He's a Finch. Where is Mr. Finch? And it was just like, I was like, that is hilarious.
Well, yeah, so that's what I wondered. Did you do any research on this? Were they actually trying to avoid like legal trouble?
Probably because I don't think it's within 100 years of the Grinch being made. Because after 100 years, it's in public domain.
The Grinch actually? So Dr. Seuss made the Grinch was owned by the.
Yes, I believe so.
Whatever.
Yeah, so like Winnie the Pooh is getting a horror movie because Winnie the Pooh is now in the public domain.
Right.
So I think that's. But I don't know.
This skirts
it's not
the line so much. They say lyrics from the actual, like, you're a mean one. Like they say lyrics from that song.
But I think because they say it, and they say it's like, I think that like takes off the copyright. If you say it like broken up like that, is if you
So if someone sang it.
Yeah, I think that would be like a copyright issue. But like, I don't know, because they also say,
did
like,
me singing it right now, will that make this
yes,
podcast?
this whole thing is flagged. Like, we can't even air this episode.
You know what? It's done.
Just cut it, wrap it, we're done. But like one of the characters, like the Santa character, his name is Doc Zeus.
Doc Zeus. You want to know how fucking stupid I am?
You didn't realize that?
I did not make that connection at all.
I literally, as soon as I heard that, and I was like, okay, I was like, what else you got? Bring it on. Because you have Cindy, and they just call her Cindy, which, fine.
I really think that they're, if they were trying to avoid a lawsuit, I think they did a terrible job. I think, I think if someone from the Dr. Seuss estate wanted to sue them, I think they have a case.
Probably could.
They absolutely have a case here.
They probably have some, like, maybe like the right for the song, but not the Grinch.
Well, if they have the right for the song, then I wanted to hear that fucking song in the movie.
I want to hear it on repeat.
But I like classic, 90s movie sort of thing. I wanted to hear like Limp Bizkit do a version of that song. You know what I mean?
That'd be epic.
You're a mean one. You know what I mean?
Mr.
Like,
Grinch, yo.
yeah. If they did, like how Limp Bizkit did the Mission Impossible theme, and like, I'm like, that's what I wanted to hear. I was waiting for that the whole movie, and I'm like, no, they're not going to touch it.
It never came.
It never came.
It never came. God. But also what never came is we wanted more of the Grinch throughout the whole movie. I don't know about you.
It seems like they were trying to avoid
I wanted
it.
more. I wanted more.
Why were they trying to either because the guy who played the Grinch was what's his name? David Thornton.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say his David Thornton.
I forget. We need that.
David Thornton. Regardless, he plays Art the Clown in
David
the Terrifier.
Howard Thornton.
David Howard Thornton.
And he plays Art the Clown
in the Terrifier series. So I'm like, this is like the name that's coming to this and playing another creature.
So maybe they needed to save some money, and they're like, let's have him come by for a day. Oh shit!
It's dropping everything.
Careful.
It's okay. It's fine. Putting hands under the table. Yeah, they definitely just wanted to save money and stuff because they also the dad-daughter relationship when they first introduced them.
Okay, so
I was like, they're lovers.
I thought they were lovers too. It made me uncomfortable. And also, if your mother was brutally murdered on Christmas, like, I don't know why the dad had such an intense fascination with Christmas. Like, he was like obsessed. He had like the nose on his car and the antlers.
Are you like that?
And you're like, have a little sensitivity. Your daughter watched her mother get murdered in front of the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve.
And he's like, jingle
And he's like,
bells.
let's sing Christmas carols.
Let's
honey.
go. Oh, you're a little pitchy. And she's like, Dad, stop it.
Stop.
And then starts flirting with that cop.
Oh yeah, the cop.
We're just like right in front of her.
And also they made a big deal. So like there's this cop that is in this town that is like, this town does not celebrate Christmas, doesn't have any decorations for Christmas because the mean one will come down and murder anyone who like has jingle bells or when he smells chestnuts or
like
something.
something weird. Like that.
And the one cop that pulls her over, that there's like kind of a love interest between Cindy Lou Who and this cop, and the cop is Jewish, and they're making like anti-Semitic comments throughout the entire movie, where they're like, the dad goes, "You're Jewish," and then he goes, "Did the nose give it away?" And you're like, "Oh dear God!"
And you're like, "Damn, okay,
Wow.
No, do you know what? People think I'm Jewish. I'm not. So I got a strong. You never know.
You never know. You never know.
Okay.
My favorite, the opening was amazing because so when they're talking, when Cindy is a little girl, her mom is murdered in front of the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve by the Grinch.
But it was on accident.
But yeah, like I guess that comes up later.
Yeah.
But when the cop is asking the little girl for the description of the killer, they're asking her to draw the killer. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They give her a piece of paper like, "Can you draw the killer for me?" And they draw, and she draws the Grinch. And then he hands it to her. He's like, "Honey, this can't be real. Okay, can you draw it for me again?" They ask her to draw it again.
They're like, "Can you be a big girl because monsters aren't real?" And you're like, "Damn,
get a sketch artist over here.
like
Why are we asking the little girl to draw
7.
this?" Yeah.
She doesn't remember shit.
She just watched her mother get murdered in
Like-
front of her. Why are we asking her to draw the killer over
Give
and
her
over
a
again?
second, Jesus. Like she's like they don't have like anything like around. Like they're like, "Nope, we're just gonna straight to
And they were
interrogate her."
harassing her. And then later on, he brings up, like, Cindy goes, "Did you ever catch that killer of my mom?" And he goes, "Well, we never got an accurate description." Like giving her shit about
Literally.
not describing the murderer correctly.
And then the love interest cop, he gives the corrupt sheriff the drawing from the file that he stole, and he's like, "Here, you think about it." And he opens it, and it's like the sketch that Cindy drew, and she was little. And he's like, "Damn, now I gotta go up to the mountain and go, find stuff." Also, okay, the sex dream that Cindy had, I was like, where did this come from? Because she would have dreams and she'd like wake up and be like, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Some of them would be nightmares, and then some of them she would wake up and she realized that what happened in her nightmare actually happened, and she was like in the hospital that one time.
Yeah, that was weird. But like the one where she's like making out with the cop who barely showed
shower.
interest to, but it was like that got hot and steamy really
I know.
quick.
As soon as that scene started, I was like, "Now we're getting somewhere."
I'm like,
okay?
this is
That
like,
I
this is-
definitely didn't want to make eye contact with the guy who was sitting
You're
2
like,
seats away from me.
"Don't look at me."
We were both like looking at each other. We're like, "Hey,
We're like, "Are you into this too? Are we into each other?
All right, what's happening?
Why are we kissing?
is
Well,
this
why are we in the shower? This is weird.
Is there a moment happening here?"
What's going on? Yeah. And then the Grinch just comes and murders the guy and just screams. But then it was all a dream. So
I
they
hated
had
the kills in this. I hated them so much. Okay, so just not being critical.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought David Howard Thornton as the Grinch, fantastic. In the little amount that he was in it, I thought he was fantastic.
He didn't have any lines. He just like, and I love that. I was like, he's a feral beast.
Cindy, she was jacked. I looked her up because I was convinced she was like an MMA fighter. Because she was jacked at the end of the movie.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to kill the Grinch.
Yeah.
The mean one.
And as she's training herself and all of a sudden becomes amazing at fighting.
Yeah, she's like, push up.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch things. And also, now I'm going to shoot guns. But then I'm going to take the time to wrap all of my guns like a candy cane. I'm like, okay, so in the time you could have been doing that, you could have killed the Grinch already. Just a thought. That seemed like a little bit extra. I mean, I get it, the flair. It's
flair. It's Christmassy.
If you take the Instagram photo.
It's a viral moment. That's exactly what you're saying. But the kills were garbage. Okay? That's the one thing I will say about this is after coming from watching a movie like Terrifier 2, where the practical effects are absolutely fantastic and the kills are inventive and insane and visceral. All the blood was in After Effects?
Yes, it
like,
was.
Why?
It was giving a film I made in high school or college with the blood, and it was not rated. I think it had an NC-17 rating. And I was like,
wait, the mean one had an NC-17 rating?
I think so. And because I looked at it and I was like, what?
Or not rated? Because there's no way that should have been NC-17.
Because I'm like, there was like her head came off, sure, but like there was nothing in it that like gave me.
Terrifier 2 was rated R, and this was rated NC-17.
Yeah, sometimes it just.
That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense.
I know.
So there was that scene where he was slaughtering everybody in that diner.
Yeah, because they were all like, Santa,
yeah.
Yay.
And there was kills in that were the laziest kills ever. Like a girl was pushed into what I thought was a sink, but then she starts getting, half her body is getting pushed into a giant, it was...
I thought it was an air fryer.
Was it an air fryer? But blood was spouting out, and it sounded like it was grinding in there. I thought it was a big blender.
Why do they have a blender that big?
Or
what are they blending?
Then I rationalized. I'm like, did they think that she was being shoved into like the garbage disposal, but like her whole body?
That's a big disposal.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense, and it was a bunch of After Effects blood like fountaining out of this.
Yeah.
Sink. And I don't know, that was and then another thing that bothered me was it was lightly snowing in the town the entire movie, but it was all After Effects snow, and there was no snow on the ground. So the whole time it was snowing, this like light misty snow, but there was no snow on the ground. Where was this shot? Was this shot in SoCal?
Probably. Oh yeah, no, it was
so.
Because all of the plates I think were California, and if they didn't have the money to do, they probably did it in California.
100%.
But it's also kind of cool. I mean, regardless of good or bad, whatever the movie is,
right.
to be
no judgments.
No, yeah, for sure. To have indie films in cinema like this is, especially indie horror, because that gets a really bad rap. But some of the best films are indie horrors that we never.
And I want to support.
Yes.
I want to support. But again,
no.
Terrifier 2.
It's hard to compare than like to have David come off of Terrifier and then to do this movie. Like, go see it, and everyone's going to see it because of him. And then you're like, oh, buddy.
Because I was like expecting, I'm like, okay, even if the movie is corny, the kills are going to be fantastic. And you're like, they weren't there. I'm sorry. Yeah. They weren't there. And the passion of Terrifier 2, where they took so much care to make sure that every kill was absolutely insane. Like, it's hard to go from that to going to see the mean one, which is trying to capture that same sort of viral moment. and it doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, it tries. It's a film out there. It's
a film out there.
It's a film out there, and it, oh God, you're reading something.
I'm looking because there's just a couple things that I wanted to.
Yes.
Okay. The decorating montage with the dad and the daughter.
Yeah, have you ever in your life, when you're decorating a tree, if you've decorated a tree, I don't know your life, have you taken a moment to dance with your family
with no music playing?
With no music playing.
But that's one of those things you'll see in movies when they're trying to be kind of like when they're trying to lazily show that people are having a good time.
Yeah.
You're like, just dance.
Yeah.
You're like, not once have I ever with my dad, we're decorating a tree. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Let's dance a little bit. And then he started air guitaring. And I'm like, there's no music playing. What are you guys doing?
You're like, what are you dancing to? What is
there? That always irks me, and it happens in a lot of movies where they're just kind of lazily. It's like in The Holiday, in The Holiday when they're like, well, they're all having fun. Let's just have them all dancing.
Yeah, this is how we show people having fun. If you're happy, you dance. Everyone knows that, but it's also like it's not. They're like, ooh, you can improv this. They don't choreograph it. They're like improv it. So it's always like, like they're like doing like the fake maracas, the like dad dance. They're like just like swaying back and forth, just moving their arms. Like, I don't know.
That irks me endlessly. And then, what did we think about? Can we spoil the ending here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the heart explodes at the end.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I think that's the only way it could have ended.
So, if you've seen The Grinch before, you know that his heart grows 3 sizes, or it's 3 sizes too small, and then it grows 3 sizes. His heart grew 3 sizes that day because he found love and finally felt loved. So Cindy's like on top of him, like about to like end his life, and he's like, and then she goes, I forgive you. And then he goes, oh. And I think the one line he says is, run, or something like that. And
because he thinks his heart is going to explode. And also, how did he know that?
How did he know that? How did he know that? He knew his own lore. He knew his own lore.
Yeah, because he's like, run, because I've experienced this before. If I feel anything, my heart explodes, and it could take you out too,
I don't know.
Like a grenade.
And then, so she runs, and it kind of is like a mini explosion, and he just dies. His heart. And then I'm like, well, yeah, that's what happens when if you want to the only logical thing in this movie is that if your heart grew 3 sizes, it would in fact explode.
It's gonna explode.
So finally, we have some logic in a horror movie.
Yeah, we have some logic.
The mean one. Logical horror movie.
The mean one.
Of all movies, that's the one that gives us the logic.
Newville.
Newville.
That was the laziest, little Newville.
I also loved how all of the exteriors were just still shots.
I know.
And that they photoshopped. I'm like, this is great. No, it's honestly.
It felt like they shot it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, credit to them, they're like,
they could have.
Hey, we shot it in 2 weeks, got it into theaters. So fuck you.
Literally.
Okay.
Hell yeah. If they did, amazing. Even if they didn't.
Yeah, but the thing is, because they're like, let's film all of this and we'll add the violence in post. That's all it was. They're like, but it doesn't look like winter. We'll add snow in post.
We'll add. So they won't know. Yeah,
they won't know.
Will.
We'll make it look all dark and blue.
Yeah.
We'll add some snow in post. But there's there's nobody dying in this. We're gonna add blood in post.
Don't worry. We didn't hire a makeup person. Everyone came ready to go. They did their own makeup. We just added it in post.
I know. That's the thing. I'm gonna look into what the budget was, what exactly they did, because it's inspiring.
It is inspiring. I'm like, hey, we could do that.
You have iMovie, you know what I mean?
Just
you have a couple of your friends.
Go ham.
Go for it. You know what I mean?
You might
get a Halloween costume. Go to Spirit Halloween. Get yourself a Grinch costume or whatever.
Yeah. Amazon, Spirit Halloween.
Because that's the thing. They did waste him because he was under a mask the whole time. But I mean...
Yeah, I wanted more of him. I wanted more. I wanted a lot more of him. I think he was so funny. I think him, like, not saying anything and just going, and just making those guttural sounds.
No, whenever he was on
hilarious.
screen, I enjoyed him being on screen.
I wanted him to, like, crawl around. I'm like, hilarious. Also, okay, do you remember when they're in the cave and they're, like, looking for, I think they were, like, looking for this one, like, lost girl, and she, like, turns around and she has, like,
that was the
ribbons on her eyes.
How did that make sense?
I'm like, those aren't even sharp.
Well,
I'm like,
that's what I'm saying is they did a lot of those kills where you're like, I don't even understand how they died.
I'm confused, but they died apparently.
Like, you remember there was a girl who was crawling, and then they they're filming her crawling on the ground, and then she sees like his legs. She looks up, and he just kind of like jumps around like that, and we just see blood just fountaining out, and I'm like, wait, so I don't even understand what happened there.
He curb stomped her?
Yeah, like he jumped on her?
I mean, like that shot's always one of my favorite shots in horror films where like the person does this and then like they look up and they're right there and then they stab him in the head or something. That's what I was expecting.
But he didn't have any weapon or anything. I guess he was like kind of dancing.
He's like,
her.
because he's happy. Because when you dance, you're happy.
You dance, you're happy. Comes full circle.
It always does. It always does.
It always does.
So, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think that's
amazing.
I think that's it.
That was it. Out of 10, what do you think?
You know, I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
I'll give it a 3. It wasn't. It's like kind of finds itself in that weird place where you're like, it's not so bad that it's good. It's just kind of there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's
you know.
I gave it a 4.
Give it a 4.
You give it a 4. You know what? It was entertaining. And it was silly. It was silly.
Got me in the Christmas spirit.
Was it? Sure. Yeah. Was it amazing? No, but it was comical and it was just weird. I was laughing a lot because I'm like, it's so ridiculous. It's so silly. It's honestly
so
silly is like a good word it's silly. And it's just, as soon as I saw the fake blood, I was like, oh, this is one of those. Awesome.
Yes.
I'm like this, it's like a different type of enjoyment.
It serves its purpose.
Yeah.
That's
totally.
exactly what it does. It serves its purpose.
Yeah.
I love that mountain looked cool.
I was like, is that real or is that I'm like, where's that mountain?
It's a cute little town. I like it. And David Howard Thornton never disappoints. That guy is a powerhouse.
He's amazing. He's an icon. I can't wait to see what he does next, especially with Terrifier.
Get him on the show. Hey, David Howard Thornton, come on the show.
Do
okay?
it, please.
You should.
That would, but then he comes down as Art the Clown. I had one time I actually had a nightmare about that where John was like, hey, David Howard Thornton's coming on the show. And I was like, awesome. And I was like down here, like ready to go. And like Art walked down and I went, absolutely fucking not. And then
like
he like trapped me and then like was like, dee, 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 dee. And I was like, absolutely not. Get out of here.
You should do that.
Don't.
You heard it here. Okay. David Howard Thornton, come scare Katie.
John's
Hettenbach,
like,
all right?
I have ideas now. Damn it.
You should. It would make for very compelling YouTube watching.
Yeah, it would. It's funny to scare me. It is.
It would. It would be. It would be great.
Also, just keep me out of your dreams.
It was more of a nightmare. So.
Yeah, I don't know what goes on up there, but I don't want to be a part of it.
Nightmare. But hell yeah, Jake, thanks for being here.
Of course.
You're amazing.
You're amazing,
Do you have
Katie.
Love you. Do you have anything you want to promote before we get on out of here?
So when is this? It's probably January.
No,
right now.
this month.
This month.
This month.
Okay, so I have a series about Bing Crosby.
It's so funny.
Yeah, like messing up some of your favorite Christmas songs. And we're coming out with a new one. This will be part 4, and that comes out the week of next week, the week of Christmas.
Is that next week?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know. It's happened so fast.
It does.
It's disappointing.
Damn.
But there's that. Very excited about it. That comes out next week. And then We have The Cowboy and the Samurai coming out in the beginning of 2023. It's official. It's coming to the Lewis Brothers video channel, and the Bing Crosby series is on the Lewis Brothers video channel as well as our TikTok at the Lewis Bros. Okay, so check all that out.
They are some hilarious bros.
And then I'm doing stand-up at, I have a monthly show at Flappers in the main room. So check that out too. Buy your tickets.
It's also awesome.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you. And you know who else I appreciate? FYE. Thank you so much to our sponsor, FYE.